Citizen.
It all starts with physical fitness and appearance. If the Secretary of War can do regular, hard PT, so can every member of our joint force. It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look. It is bad, and it's not who we are.
Donald Trump officially shut down the government last night. Why? Because Republicans in Congress are spineless. They would rather make healthcare more expensive for millions of Americans because their pretend king wants them to, rather than keep the government open. Democrats were ready to get this done, to show up and negotiate a deal to keep the government open and make sure millions of people keep their health insurance. But Republicans said, quote, it's borderline pathological for Democrats to want to lower health care costs for families. Well, so that's where we are now. Democrats will keep on fighting for a deal that doesn't jack up health care costs and run our health care system into the ground. For us, it's as simple as that.
I run the House of Representatives. I run the House of Representatives. I run the House of Representatives. I run the House of Representatives.
Hey everybody, I was walking here in Washington, D.C., and who did I bump into? One of my favorite members of the United States Congress, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And one of my favorite senators.
All right. Anyhow, as everybody knows, we are now in a government shutdown. Republicans are attacking Alexandria, attacking me. Why didn't you vote for this clean CR to keep the government open?
Well, there's nothing clean about it. This is one of the dirtiest tricks that is being pulled on the American people right now. Starting today, October 1st, and throughout the rest of the month, Americans across this country are going to start getting notifications that their insurance premiums are up to doubling. We're talking about...
Say that again.
Your insurance, your monthly insurance premiums are going to double for millions of people across the country.
At a time when we are already paying, by far, the highest prices in the world for healthcare at a time when people can't afford it right now. So what happens?
That means people getting bankrupt over chemotherapy, people going to the pharmacy and not being able to get their insulin. And frankly, it means a lot of Americans are going to be in danger. And Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. So what are we going to say to that, Bernie?
Well, I'll tell you, it's not only be in danger. Let's be clear. And it doesn't make me happy to have to say this, but there have been studies out there that when you combine doubling premiums for the ACA and then throwing 15 million people off of Medicaid and the ACA, the result is, according to studies at Yale and the University of Pennsylvania, 50,000 low-income, working-class Americans will die every single year. All right? If you don't have the money to go to a doctor and you're sick, you die. And that's what we're looking at. That's what this clean bill is about.
Mm-hmm. And so Republicans want us to rubber stamp that. And we're saying no. We need to stand up for the American people. We need to stand up for our healthcare system. And if they want our votes, they need to make sure that we're protecting every American and making sure that we can do what we can to continue to make healthcare accessible, affordable, as we work to make it a human right for all.
Right. So let me just back that up. Remember, right now, our healthcare system is broken. Right now, we're the only major country on earth not to guarantee healthcare to all people. And these guys want to make it even worse. We're not going to let that happen.
No, we're not.
Thank you.
Onward.
During that very quick 90-second break, one of our producers handed me the story that just came out in Politico, and the headline is, Inside John Thune's Strategy for Ending the Shutdown. So the senator and I are sitting here like, what is in here? Here are some of the things he says. Senate Majority Leader John Thune laid out a path to end the government shutdown. Okay, whatever. He says, if a critical mass of Democrats say they're willing to support a House-passed funding bill in return, he insisted he would not negotiate on the substance of an extension while the government is closed. But pressed on whether he was open to discussions with Democrats about healthcare negotiations might work post-shutdown, he said, we are. So he's suggesting the only way he'll negotiate, as I read this, is that if Democrats vote to open the government without extending healthcare subsidies.
Yes. So let's just say this one more time. From July until today, we've been asking the Republicans to negotiate over the health care assistance, right? And their answer has been no. Now that the government is shut down, he says he won't negotiate when the government is shut down. He wouldn't negotiate when the government was open. I'm not hearing a world in which John Thune wants to negotiate. All I'm hearing is a world in which they just want to play politics and they'll do whatever Donald Trump wants them to do.
The president is unhinged. He is unwell. What
are you doing? A lot of folks
doing?
On your side are too. I don't control.
Oh my
them.
God, please. That performance in front of the generals, that
I didn't see it.
is so dangerous. You know I serve on Foreign Affairs and Appropriations. This is a collision of those two things. Our allies are looking elsewhere. Our enemies are laughing.
I just left
You
the
have a
speaker's
president
side.
who is, you have a president who is unwell.
Educating people on the right. Right now, they're all flipping out at the grocery store prices. They're crazy. And the way that those on the right who are considered MAGA leaders are calming their base is they're gaslighting them. They're lying to them by telling them this is all because of Joe Biden. 10 months into Trump's administration, and they're lying to their base. What I do for a living for over 30 years now, having worked with thousands of commercial accounts, manufacturers, food producers, commercial farming, you name it. I can tell you exactly why grocery prices are going up. Let's only stick to food packaging. We're just going to dummy this really down. A lot of our food is put in boxes. It's boxed up. Like you're buying a little box of tea. It's made out of cardboard. That cardboard is probably produced here in terms of cardboard corrugated sheets being cut and formed into a little box. But the actual production of the cardboard requires the import of lumber to turn it into a pulp, which is manufactured into the cardboard. Do you understand that? We import the lumber that makes the paper. That's why the cardboard box has gone up in price, making the entire cost of that food item go up. But I'm not done. Then you've got all the ink for all the labels on that box. See, after NAFTA passed, manufacturing pretty much left the United States, and we rely on importing component parts to make a final product here. We don't have that many chemical manufacturers here anymore. We have to import the inks and the dyes that go into making the label on your food product. So that's going to drive up the cost of that product because there's tariffs on those imports. Then you've got plastic packaging. Everything's in plastic, which I don't know why this world isn't talking about the dangers of plastic. Plastic starts with plastic resins, little pellets. We don't really make those here. We have to import the resin to form the plastic packaging, like your milk jug. So the tariffs on those imports are forcing food in plastic to go up. Should I repeat all of the labeling that goes on the plastic? What I just talked about, the inks and the dyes? How about metal? Your baked beans, your pie filling, the whole canned aisle. Do we already know about the tariff on imports of metal? 6.5% increase just on the price of the can passed on to us. Now, I'm not even talking about all of these companies in the United States that make the corrugated boxes, that make the final plastic container or what have you. Their cost of doing business has skyrocketed since the tariffs. We don't manufacture a lot of production equipment here in the United States anymore. We import them. And then we import the parts because machines break down. Parts have to be replaced. And there's tariffs on all of those. So these facilities, just to run their operation every day, costs more money. And that gets passed on to that item of food that you're buying. Guys, I'm only talking about the packaging. I'm not even getting into the farmers and everything that, raise the cattle or, grow the green bean. I'm not even talking about how they're having to increase the costs of those. All of it having to do with tariffs that Trump put into place, not Biden. I cannot believe that these manipulators are lying to Trump voters, and I can't believe Trump voters want to keep getting lied to. There you go.
Hey, Russell, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. So, oh yes, I will. As soon as I finish this interview. So we're literally hours away from a shutdown. I saw you and Leader Schumer try to go, hey, let's get this bipartisan agreement. Are we now understanding that Republicans are just not in play for bipartisan agreements?
Yeah, what's clear is that Republicans have made the decision that they want to shut the federal government down. And they want to shut it down. Clearly, Republicans are out of town. They're on vacation in the House. Donald Trump agreed to a meeting, then canceled the meeting, and then put the meeting together at the 11th hour. We laid out what was necessary in order for us to find a bipartisan agreement that we were going to hold the line in protecting the health care of the American people, and they're not interested. They'd actually rather shut the federal government down, hurt everyday Americans, than protect the health care of the American people.
So what's the game plan? So obviously, shutdown's happening. People are literally going to be affected by this to the extent they might die. Are Republicans going to measure this by how many people die before we rescind the shutdown? Or
yeah, well, I think it's going to be important for all of us to make clear. Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. If the government shuts down, it's because they've decided to do it. And the American people don't like shutdowns, but it's important for them to understand who's actually shut the government down. And it's unreasonable to expect that Republicans simply want us to go along, to get along, support their partisan spending bill, and expect that we're going to go along with their effort to gut the health care of the American people and their refusal to do anything about the Affordable Care Act tax credit.
So can you commit as the leader of the Democratic Party that when the time comes for that conversation to rescind this shutdown, the line in the sand stays, health care or nothing?
Yeah, without question. We've made clear and we've laid out in our own bill what was necessary in order for Democrats to engage in the type of bipartisan agreement that will fund the government in a way that meets the needs of the American people. And Democrats in the House have been lock solid, working closely with Democrats in the Senate who are holding the line today.
Are they going to hold the line?
They're going to hold the line.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Because you've spoken to Chuck Schumer where we have it.
100%. They're going to hold the line.
They're not going to go in there tonight and make some backdoor compromise.
They're going to hold the line. They understand. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save health care.
All right, we'll be watching. Thanks,
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate you.
Is now shut down for the first time since, well, the previous Trump administration. And if you listen to the Trump administration today, this is entirely and completely the Democrats' fault. They're running a PR campaign to convince everyone, incorrectly I'd say, that the Dems are solely to blame for this shutdown.
The reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government.
Democrats in Congress have officially shut down the United States government. House Republicans passed a nonpartisan, clean piece of legislation to extend current government funding until November 21st. But nearly every single Democrat senator voted against this bill. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, and it's because the Democrats have put us into this position. If the Democrats did not vote to shut down the government, we would not be standing up here talking about layoffs today.
They've also plastered that same sentiment across a bunch of government websites in what looks like a violation of government ethics rules, although, God, those are long gone. They're really weird messages, by the way, if you happen to check them out. But here's what I would say about this argument. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about how this administration has conducted itself over the last 9 months. Donald Trump is governing like the dictator of America, right? He promised to be a dictator on day one, his words. He's compared himself to America's king, even to the Pope. The goal of the second term, quite clearly, and it's not hiding this, is to assert complete control over every aspect of the federal government. He wants to directly control who gets fired and hired across the entire government and even civil society, from Fed directors to talk show hosts. He wants to directly control who gets indicted, most recently with the ridiculous prosecution of James Comey. He says, right now, the position of the Trump administration and Donald Trump is that he, by himself, unilaterally, can raise taxes on the American people by $1 trillion entirely by executive fiat, just by being like, yeah, taxes up. He says he can rescind or reallocate any congressionally appropriated funds, basically at any time, entirely by executive fiat. Oh, there's a bill to spend stuff there? No, we're not going to do it. Okay, but think of all that. But now it's the Democrats who are in the driver's seat when it comes to shutting down the government. That is a pretty tough sell.
If there is a shutdown, I actually think the president would be blamed.
No, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. The time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth. He's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, Trucker John.
Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. It is 9:26 a.m. Pacific time zone, and it is currently 74 degrees here in beautiful Las Vegas. I see the thumbs ups from Aaron, so I guess I'm coming through loud and clear. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I was just finishing up my breakfast. I hear someone yelling outside. Apartment life. Anyhow, good morning, guys. Good to see you. I see Karen Ames here in the driver's lounge. Hello, Karen. Good morning to you. Thanks for being here. Karen says, I love that video Eric Swalwell made. It was perfect. Yeah. I thought it was perfect, too. I loved it how, Hegseth, here, I got a bug I got to kill. I am inundated with bugs, man. They need to come out and spray again. There is an infestation in this building, this entire complex. Anyhow, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, it was great how Hegseth, he's talking about being fit and all this stuff, and then you've got good old Trump right there behind him. with his big old belly hanging out. Anyhow, so that's that. Let's see, Aaron West is here. Gonna go let the dogs out again. Yeah, Karen says everyone knew they were trying to be like Patton with the flag and everything. Someone is like not happy out there. Anna Moore's here. Hey, Anna Moore, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you coming in. Marsha Jones. Hello, Marsha. Can you guys hear that? God, I hate apartments. Anyhow, William's here. Jolie's here. All right, so we got Aaron and Jolie. We are at full mod capacity. Let's see. We got Carrie C. Hey, good to see Carrie C. in here in the old driver's zone. MJ Daniel from up in Washington State is here. Hey, MJ, good to see you. MJ is saying, hey, to gin up the base. Now, I wasn't able to get scroll back to the top of the chat, so apparently I've missed some folks. I guess gin up the base is here. And I would imagine if gin up the base is here, that Roxanne 79 is not far behind. I think I did see that Sandy was first today. Please, I wish the people would go find another apartment to stand in front of to yell. Anyhow, Karen Ames says, I have a friend whose premium is going to double and she's not going to know why. Well, make sure you let her know that this is all the Republicans' fault. This is all Trump's fault. You know, they're the ones. Hey, they run the House, they run the Senate, and they run the White House, and they're the ones that put all these cuts in there. So make sure your friend knows who's responsible for that. WW is here. Hello, WW. There's Roxanne 1979 in the chat. Elizabeth Martinez is here. Buenos dias, Jugger Jug. Buenos dias back at you. I don't know how to say back at you in Spanish, but oh yeah, I think I said this before. It's like I don't know. Repito something. Why do I do that? Why do I do this myself? Roxanne 79 says Judas Johnson. Let's see that grinder profile. Biatch. Today's the day. Christina says it's not Biden's economy, it's Trump's economy. Absolutely. He promised he was going to bring prices down, and it's been just the opposite. WW, the government really does not control prices. But when you have a president who just throws blanket tariffs at everything, that does affect the prices. You can't let Trump and his sycophants off the hook that easily, WW. We're not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to let it happen. Nola Carnes is here. Hey, Nola, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. WW, I confess to hoarding tea. Stock up if you can. If you can find stuff, I guess it's reasonably priced, but I guess we should stock up now because the prices, I think, are just going to keep going up and up and up under Trump. Roxanne says, I didn't think about the cardboard and the ink. Yeah, that's why I put that in there, because even though the main focus has been about the shutdown, in the meantime, we're still shopping, and we're still seeing the prices go up. I feel like this is zoomed in or something. I don't know, but anyhow, let's fill this little gap here. Maybe we should just keep putting that in there. No King's Day on the 18th. I didn't really get any new memes or memes, I guess called. So we'll just go with the old standbys here, the old reliables that we need to not forget about. releasing the Epstein files, and we need to remember that October 18th is the No Kings Day, marching and peacefully protesting. MJ Daniel says maybe Americans, who's number 2 in the fan thing, by the way, the fan rankings. Many Americans should be adults and believe their own eyes. Things were getting better with Biden. Americans are mind-numbingly stupid at times. Absolutely, things were better under Biden. That's on my Blue Sky page, my banner. I guess you call it the banner. That's what I got on there. I've had that on there for months, for a year. I don't know. Things were better under Biden. Huh? Not a year, but since the election, probably, or since the swearing in of Trump. Aaron's back from taking out the dogs. Who let the dogs out? WW says, laughing out loud, I want to see what sort of porn Mikey shares with the black adult adopted son. Karen Ames says, I spent over $200 on frozen food, milk, creamer, and Pepsi. That was on sale last night and spent over $200. It was enough TV dinners for the week for the 4 of us. I know, it's crazy, right? I just did a little shopping the other day. I mean, I only spent, I think it was $112, but I mean, all I got was, I got some orange juice and some cheese and some lunch meat. I got some frozen dinners. I only got like just a couple of frozen dinners. I got some frozen like breakfast things, little breakfast sandwiches, and I got some like Eggos, not actually Eggos, but the an off-brand. What else did I get? Just not too much stuff. It was like $112, for like 5 little bags of stuff. I think I got some cereal and some potato chips and I got hamburger meat. That kind of stuff. I got a little thing, a pound of strawberries, because you guys keep saying I should eat vegetables and fruits. So I got that. It came to over $100 just for that. Falcor's here. Hey, Falcor, good to see you. So stupid is as stupid does. WW says, as long as it pisses off the libs, the Q magatoids love it. Love it, love it, love it. Aaron West, super chat goal is up. Let's effing go. Words to live by. We got 38 watching, and we're actually operating like good Democrats. We have a slight surplus with the 39 thumbs ups. But if you haven't hit the thumbs up, go ahead and do that now, if you would. And if you haven't subscribed, I wish you'd consider subscribing. That'd be great. We're up over 4,100 now. And oh yeah, that's right. Tomorrow is my birthday, and the goal was to get to 4,200 by end of business day tomorrow. So can we do it? I don't know. It's like 90 or something, or 80 something that we'll need. But you never know. One time I think I had I got 90 subs in one day. I've done that before. So we could do that. Oh, I think when I dropped that Harris Walls Vegas rally video, I probably got well over 90 in one day. That one video got me like, I want to say, close to a couple thousand subscribers. So, or at least, I don't know, at least somewhere in the teen, like 15 or 1,600. So I guess it could be done. We could get 90 or 89 by tomorrow, by end of business day tomorrow. But it could be done. It's possible. Not going to count it out. As you can see, I'm wearing my LA Rams gear today. It was a toss-up. Should I wear Dodger gear or Rams gear? I went with the Rams gear because the Rams are playing the hated 49ers tonight on Thursday Night Football. But I was going to wear the Dodgers because the Dodgers, they won the first round of the playoffs, the wild card. They beat the Reds last night, swept them 2-0. They'll be moving on to play Philly, which is going to be really, really tough. I think that's on Saturday. I think. Yeah, I think it's Saturday. So I figure I'll probably be wearing Dodger gear, then. So I put on the Rams gear today. Go Rams. Let's beat the hated Niners. Anna Moore says, if only the tiny tyrant in the White House would learn to keep his mouth shut, we would not be here today. Impeach 47. Well, I don't know what it has to do about keeping his mouth shut. I guess because I guess he has to open his mouth to say, I'm raising tariffs. Ada Benitez is here. Hey, Ada, good to see you. Good morning to you. Ada says, or Ada, hi everybody. I'm alive but lurking today, still under treatment for sciatica. The treatment makes me sleepy. Hey there, Ada. Just go ahead and relax, kick back, relax, and get well soon. Get better soon. Terry Taylor's here. Hey, Terry. Good to see Terry. Thanks for joining us here in the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you coming on in. Ada Benitez structure on nice hair. Thanks. Oh, maybe that was in the intro or something. Must have been something in the intro. Liberal Dan's here. Hey, Liberal Dan, or at least was. I know I'm probably already 20 minutes behind in the chat, but thanks for coming on in, Liberal Dan. Good to see Liberal Dan pop in. Falcor says Trump is a poor person. Oh, is a poor person's idea of a rich man, a weak person's idea of a strong man, and a stupid person's idea of a smart man. And that was in quotes. I don't know if that's attributed. If Falcor made that up, or if that's a quote from someone. I don't know. MJ Daniel says, because DJT is a dangerously senile lunatic, and Republicans have sold out the USA. I guess, I don't know. That was a continuation of something. I don't know. Nola Carter says, this is hilarious. The repubes are lying. Yes, they are. The theme of the day is, them trying to blame the Republicans for everything when they're the ones that are doing this. Paul Burrows is here. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in from up there in Idaho. Paul Burrows says the difference between humanity and animals is animals wouldn't let the dumbest of the herd lead them. That's a good point. Aaron West 926. I think I might be 16 minutes behind. 16 minutes behind, y'all. See if I can get caught up a little bit. Anna Moore, TJ, where's the bug zapper? I know. I went and I got this. Perimeter protection, auto trigger. Hey, there's Jen up the base. Good to see you. Trucker John, he says, Trucker John, it's not Halloween yet. TJ, I like your costume, but it's too early fearsome foursome. I did dress up as a football player one year. Actually, when I was an adult, I got invited to like a Halloween party, and I didn't really have a costume, but I had my old because I'd been playing semi-pro football. So this is back when I was like around 30 or 31 or something, or 32 or something, and all I could think of as my football uniform. So I just put on my old football uniform and went to the Halloween party, and everyone loved it, especially the ladies. They loved how it. I got quite a few comments on my ass. I guess the football uniform was accentuating or whatever my ass. I used to have one. I don't have one anymore. It seems like. Anywho, Mr. Spock is here. Hey, Mr. Spock, live long and prosper. Mr. Spock says something about bugs. Says bugs are protein. TJ, you should be paying your landlord. No, thank you. No, thank you. Aaron West can hear the yelling, so that makes me worried that maybe my microphone's not working. No, thank you. But I think it's working. No, thank you. So I guess it's just they were yelling so loud that it picked it up. I just didn't, usually the microphone doesn't pick that kind of stuff up, or anything too far away. But they were yelling kind of loud. There was some sort of dispute about something. I don't know what the hell is going on out there. Nola Carnes says, "Are you haunted?" No, I could see them walking around out there. MJ Daniel says DJT and Whiskey Pete have seen way too many bad military TV shows and movies. They talk in bad cliches and sound like slow children. Alton Gillespie's here. Hey, Alton, good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the old driver's lounge. I believe Alton Gillespie is somewhere in Texas. Aaron West says, my premium is doubling, and it's because we have to pay because the state health plan mismanaged for years and we're bleeding money. Let's see, Elizabeth Martinez, you said it correctly. Buenos dias. We just repeat the same good morning. Buenos dias. WW says, I'm told to call them Republicans. Who told you that? Who's telling you these things? WW? MJ Daniel says, yep, this shit show is all the Republicans making. Every Democrat needs to wash their hands of it completely. Benitez says, buenos dias para usted también. That's the formal response. Oh, okay. That's how you say back at you? Christina Weibel says, I will call them pedocunts. See, I just start reading this stuff, and I don't know what's coming. That one kind of threw me for a loop there, Christina. Pedocunts. Yeah, there you go. That's a new one on me. Let's see here. WW says, for years, the Republicans were calling for a recession. Looks like they are finally getting one. Yep. Their wishes are coming true now, I guess. And they're blaming it on Biden. They're actually blaming this shit on Biden. Trump's been in office for 9 months, and I'm pretty sure if you put a graph of his tariffs next to the price, or next to a graph of inflation and prices going up, they would be running just parallel with one another. Hey, there's the Christina and Son Ghost Squad. Hello, Christina. Good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Christina and Son Ghost Squad says, "Hi everyone. I don't have sound on at the doctor's office, but have you running?" So Christina didn't even hear anything I just said. Christina didn't hear me saying hello. But hello. Paul Burrows is hoarding coffee. Anna Moore says some of the generals are not happy with their president right now, and they are letting us know. I have you seen things where they're talking publicly? Because I haven't seen anything like that. But I know that they are not happy. I know they were just sitting there, probably seething when they were sitting there listening to all that bullshit. Christina Weibel says, I found out that I actually have to take blood pressure meds because of Dinky. Dinky doo, we dinky doo, we dinky doo. WW says, Anna Moore. Active generals are not allowed to complain out loud, but plenty of retired guys are letting us know how they all feel. Alton Gillespie says last night at hated by many Walmarts, the canned fish section, I don't know, bared. Most brands except the pricey ones. The aisle was bare, I guess. That's what he's trying to say. Guess that's what he's trying to say. Guess that's what he was trying to say. Marcia Jones says Brits, as in people from England, Brits will be out on the street to support you October 8th. Oh, thank you, Marcia Jones. Are you British? Marcia Jones, are you British? Do you like my British accent? She's like, what is that? Yes, October 18th, no kings. Even the English people that have a king will be supporting us. Yeah, and Christina says thank you, Marcia, and I second that motion. Christina Weibel says I can blame him. He split my family in half, and I've never been diagnosed with high blood pressure until now. So I absolutely agree. It's fucking Trump's fault. I'm behind you on that one there. This isn't who you think it is. It's happy birthday, John. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is the official day. Ding doo doo ba doo ba doo dinky dinky doo. Williams here. Christina says smoke break. Smoke them if you got them. Be right back. Hi, Damon Dog. Oh, did I skip Damon Dog, the big dog? Oh, there's Damon Dog, the big dog. Oh, there you are. Thanks for coming on in, Damon Dog, the big dog. I do appreciate you coming on in, hanging out with us. A Damon Dog. Woof, woof, woof. You know, because we got a dog theme going here with Aaron West taking out the dogs and who let the dogs out. We got Damon Dog, the big dog. And more. TNF, Thursday Night Football. I will probably be driving tonight, though. I'm probably not going to watch the game because I didn't drive last night or the night before because I was watching the Dodgers. So I'm probably going to be driving tonight. This isn't who you think it is. It says go Rams. All right. All right. We got some Rams support there. Nola Carnes says, Trucker John, happy birthday. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much. Fancy's here. Hey, Fancy, good to see you. Good to see Fancy in the driver's lounge. Thanks for coming on in. Karen Ames says, hey, I like the Miners, John. You mean Niners? Been a fan since the 80s because of Joe Montana. No throwing shade on me this time. You do know that I am legally obligated as a Rams fan to hate anything San Francisco, whether it be the Giants, the Niners, the Warriors, whatever their hockey team is. I guess San Jose. It's close enough. Although it just seems like it's not San Jose. You're not San Francisco. But I am legally obligated to hate them 49ers. So I'm just trying to stay out of prison at this point. Oh God, here's the fucking. Now we got the leaf blowers. Or actually, I think he's trimming a tree or something. I can't tell because I've got the window shades are like slats and I've got them kind of slightly open. Anyhow, now we're going to be putting up with either a tree trimming device. Oh yeah, he's trimming the bushes. And then after that, he's going to whip out the leaf blower. The leaf blower is even worse. While you're at it, why don't you spray for bugs? Because I think all the bugs come from the bushes out there. I'm always spraying the crack, on the door there. Anywho, I digress. Mrs. Fox says the people who created Project 25 are running things. People like Stephen Miller. Yeah, they're in Trump's inner circle. Yep. And I really hope if there really is a God in heaven or whatever, there will be justice. There will be no justice until all those motherfuckers are sitting in prison. All those motherfuckers that wrote the Project 2025 and are in Trump's ear and really, influencing him to do all this shit. And of course, Trump himself. They should all be in prison. These motherfuckers should be in prison. Mrs. Spock says that's why most women like football. They like looking at their butts. Oh yeah. I forgot that I'd been talking about earlier. Yeah. Owen says, let's listen, laughing out loud. I guess maybe talking about the people that were yelling. Jim's Base says, Trucker John, one Halloween while I was living in New England, I dressed up as Matt Patricia with a pencil sticking out of my hat and a pillow under my shirt to accentuate his boiler. Well, there you go. Paul Burrows says adultery is a sin. You can't have your cake and Edith too. Yeah. Ba-da-bum. Do. Boom. Fancy says I'm relaxing. Just now made a video. Well, looking forward to Fancy's next video. Fancy makes some very not only entertaining, but just fun to watch. Very colorful, and the tunes are always, real catchy. So I strongly suggest everyone go and checking out Fancy's channel, her page here, and check out her videos. They're really, really fun. Just fun, and also just nice to listen to. Just really catchy, fun tunes, and the videos are very vibrant. I guess very, very cool. So anyhow, check that out. WW says two most prominent Western couples are products of adultery. Not a big deal anymore. Our first lady naked. I think it's seen. Yeah, because she posed nude. Old Melania did. It's probably pretty safe to say Melania was probably a prostitute at one time. That's probably how she met Donald. Let's see here. Jen Up the Base says, fancy, nice. I just posted a video on Blue Sky this morning. So Jen Up the Base has videos on Blue Sky. If you want to look those up. Hey, Squirrel Girl's here. Good to see Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl. So for some reason, I have a hard time saying that. I need to enunciate. Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl. Thanks for being here, Squirrel Girl. Always good to see you in the chat. In the driver's lounge. WW says, I have lots of prominent Republican family, mostly farmers, not in love with Trump right now. What do you mean that they're prominent? Are they like fancy people? Damn you and your tree trimming, bush trimming. Gee, Benny, Christmas. Prominent. Okay. If you say so, WW. But the main point there to take away is that they're not in love with Trump right now. And they should have never been in love with him, and they should never be in love with him again. Golf Marine says, my buddy who joined the Marine Corps with his dad was a lieutenant. Wait, that you joined the Marine Corps with. His dad was a lieutenant colonel. I knew him very well, and I know how he would have felt at their speech. Yeah, he probably would have been saying this is fucking horse shit. This is a bunch of horse shit. Under his breath. Being the good lieutenant colonel, you know, he would say that under his breath. Or in, you know, in a private setting. Louder, you know. Marsha Jones says, Satan's dressing up as Trump for Halloween. Sorry about the British accent. That was very bad. WW says the soybean fiasco is mostly Donnie now. It's all Donnie, and I hope these goddamn farmers will learn a lesson. I hope they're learning the lesson. That's the thing about it, is so many of them don't even learn their lesson. They're like Charlie Brown, keeps trying to kick that football, and Lucy keeps taking it away at the last second. Jim at the base says, Christina and Son Ghost Squad Trucker John just said hello to you. We know you aren't listening. Okay. I said hello already, so. But I am 20 minutes behind on the chat, so that's probably the overlap there. Karen Ames says they have the House, the Senate, and the White House, and anyone that watches Fox will believe their BS, that it's the Dems' fault. Yeah, I know that old Fox News, they keep with their right-wing Republican bullshit, and people that watch that regularly, they just believe everything that they say. Jim Bay says, Damon Hogg, I put up a new video this morning after consultation with my producer, Roxanne79. WW says, I got Bumblebee albacore at Dollar Tree, still $1.25. I have enough tuna to last me a long time. Yeah, good to have in emergencies. I'm not a really big tuna fish fan, but it would be good to have that, if you're starving to death, or whatever. Jen at the base says, Trucker John, was that your Cockney accent? No, that was not the Cockney. The Cockney accent would be a little more like this. that was even worse. No, this type of accent is something a little more sophisticated. Jolie says at the whitehouse.gov website, it says the Democrats have shut down the government. How is it even legal for them to put that on the official White House website? Oh, Jolie. Oh, Jolie, my innocent little Jolie. When did legalities ever stop the Trump administration? Yeah, that's adorable. Legal. Such a silly notion. Worrying about laws when it comes to Trump. Everyone else has to follow the law, but not Trump. Apparently. Victor Harshman's here. Hey, Victor, good to see you. Thanks for dropping by the old driver's lounge. Victor says Israel's paying U.S. influencers $7,000 per post to boost Israel's falling support. Israel, if you're listening, just kidding. Just kidding. I just noticed on my TV, you know how on YouTube it'll just random, it's sort of like when one thing ends, it'll just randomly go to the next thing. And Sandy Foltz will be happy to know that it's got the Patriots versus. Oh, this is the Patriots versus Buffalo Bills preview. Week 5 preview is playing right now on my TV. On my TV screen. Israel, if you're listening, send me. I'm not an influencer though. I'm a content creator, but I'm not really an influencer. I don't think you can be an influencer until you've got like hundreds of thousands of subscribers and viewers and things. At least some, maybe not in the millions, but at least somewhere in the hundreds of thousands, I think. So I'm not really an influencer. Damn it. Damn it all to hell. So I'm just seeing here. Josh is here. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Serinda Monkey's here. Another limey. Is it okay that I call you a limey? That's an old term. Serinda Monkey says, I catch my own spam. It's easy if you know which shops to look in. Okay. Just go to the store and buy some spam. I mean, it's not that hard, is it? Hello there. Hello, Governor. Rosanna is here. Hello, Rosanna. Good to see Rosanna. Rosanna. WW says, I can only cook salmon in good weather when I can open the windows. Something about the smell bothers me. I like salmon. And I don't mind the smell, because usually when I cook it, and it's been a long time since I cooked it, but I used to cook, like the fillets, salmon fillets or whatever. And I would cook it up in some nice extra virgin olive oil in the pan, kind of pan fry it. And I thought it smelled good. Maybe that's just me being weird. Terry Taylor says Trump has caused me much anxiety and intense anger. I hate him and the Republicans with the heat of 1,000 suns. Hey man, I hear you, Terry. I hear you, man. We got to do something to bring that down, So because it's not healthy to always live in high anxiety and with all this intense anger. Yeah, so come on into the driver's lounge and see if we can't get you to just kind of relax a little bit for a little bit of time. Take a break from all the anxiety and the anger. Although I'll say that and then I'll part, I'll start yelling about Trump or something. So, but yeah, we got to take it down as far as or take breaks. Maybe take a media break for a week or something. You know. Karen Ames says, I like the Rams too. I usually support Southern California teams. Yeah, but if you are a true Rams fan, you cannot. You can. It's really. I think there is a law in place that you cannot like the Niners. I believe now. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the actual statute, but I believe that there is something in place that says that if you're a Rams fan, you cannot even casually like the Niners. There's just that's not me. I didn't make that law. I didn't make that law. Okay, I just lived by it. Fancy doesn't hear it. There's another damn bug. I'm infested. I'm going to go down to the office today and tell them we need another spray. They were just here a few weeks ago. I've had them spray twice since I've lived here, and I've only lived here a few months. I'm going to have them spray again and again and again and again. I don't care if they have to come here every fucking day. Anyhow, Sweetie Monkey says, hate is a strong word, Trucker John. Heavily dislike is a better option. Hey, sometimes hate is the appropriate word. Hate. I hate Trump. I hate Trump. Trump. I hate you. I hate Trump. Now I'm all paranoid about bugs. Victor Harshman says, our friends were in Portland at the ICE facility last night. Only a handful of people out there. And did they notice all the buildings on fire and just total mayhem? Was it, like Trump was saying? Probably not, right? Paul Burrows, if you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear flowers in your hair. That's a reference to an old 60s hippie song. Mr. Spock says they have a recall on Bumblebee tuna, WW, so be careful. They are high levels of radiation, 10 times the legal limit. So just putting that out there for all you tuna fish, cans of tuna fish buyers. Damon Dog, I spray my crack too. I know when I said that, I knew that didn't sound right, and I knew someone would say something. And lo and behold, old Damon Dog. Victor Harshman still has new electric leaf blowers that make barely any noise. Anna Moore says, oh my God, Tucker John, you're having a challenging day. Yeah, first it was people screaming and yelling, and then now it's the landscapers. Although he has moved on for now, looks like. Roxanne79 says, I always worry about having a filthy neighbor in my apartments that doesn't clean, attracting all the bugs. I know. I do think that. I'm like, my neighbors. It's coming from my neighbors. I'm just skipping down a little bit in the chat. Rosanna reminding us, open the Epstein files now. Yes, absolutely. Gin up the base says, Trucker John, these days I don't need the pillow under the shirt to accentuate my boiler. Well, you and me both. You and me both. Victor Harshman says, go Seahawks, warning some viewers find their defense disturbing, mostly LA fans. Well, we'll be playing each other pretty soon. We'll see how it goes. Seahawks are playing pretty well this year, that's for sure. Much better than I think a lot of people thought. They're looking pretty tough. They're looking tough. But right now we're focusing on the Niners because you can't look ahead. Well, the players and the coaches shouldn't be looking ahead. But I want to focus on the Niners right now. Keeping all my energy focused on beating the fucking Niners. Tonight, let's beat the fucking Niners. MJ Daniel says, didn't Melania meet DJT through Epstein and that group, and weren't Maxwell and Ivana close friends? I think so. That's all been coming out lately. All that stuff has been coming out. We're finding out more and more about all these connections and all these meetups and how it all leads back to Epstein and Trump. WW says they have never voted anything but Republican their entire lives. He was talking earlier about his prominent Republican family members. And I think that's the same bug. Hopefully that's the same bug. I love this thing because it shoots like 15 feet. Damn, I've never seen it this bad where I have to just sit here and, pick off these bugs like this. Anyhow, where was I at? Oh yeah, about the Republicans. And you know what? I've been voting for Democrats my whole life, but I don't do that just because this wasn't a generational thing. Like my parents really were kind of apolitical, although I think they did vote. And I'm not even sure what party they were with. I know they voted because they would go out and vote. But they kind of kept that. They came from an era where you didn't talk about these kind of things too much, And I have a feeling that they voted back and they just went back and forth, or whatever between parties. But I've always been a lifelong Democrat. But I do that because I actually look at the issues. I look at the candidates. I listen to debates. I listen to what they have to say. I don't just do it just automatically. I haven't been a Democrat just automatically. Now, I do say stuff like vote blue no matter who, vote blue down ticket, and stuff like that. But I don't mean to do it to be that people should just be, blind and not actually have some involvement in looking up the issues and the ideologies and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be promoting the Democrats if I didn't think that overall they are about the things that I'm about. They share the Democratic Party, at least the platform. Not every Democrat is good. Okay, I realize that, and they're not perfect, and some of them do some stupid shit, and there are different Democrats. We have a big tent, and some of them are a little too conservative for my liking. There might be some that are a little too, although I don't think there are. I think there's a difference between being a leftist and a far left Democrat. They're two different. They're not necessarily the same thing, but by and large, I agree with the platforms that the Democrats have had over the years. And I've always felt that the Democrats are there to help middle class, working poor, and poor people, much more so than the Republicans. So I've always felt we're really just in it to benefit from helping the rich people and the ultra top corporations. I've always felt that, even since Reagan, or even before I could vote. So I don't like. I guess my point is, like, WW is talking about his family. He has family members that have voted Republican their whole lives. I think a lot of these folks. Now I could be wrong. I'm just generalizing. I'm kind of generalizing here. A lot of these folks, it's just like their grandfathers and grandparents voted for Republicans, and then their great grandparents or whatever, and then their parents, grandparents, parents, and then they just continued on. It's like a tradition, and they don't even know why, other than just some of the the sort of stereotype that comes down with it. That someone was walking by, my neighbor, that just that so all it is Republicans are low taxes and non-regulation, and Democrats are big spenders and high taxes and high spending, and that's all they think about. That's all they hear. That's all they've been told their whole lives, and so that's it. They don't pay attention to anything else but that, and that really is kind of silly and lazy, actually. You can take 5 or 10 minutes to actually, a day, or I know, because I know we're all busy and we have stuff to do, but I think everyone has 5 or 10 minutes in a day where they can go and look at some issues, for crying out loud. Hey, Fancy sent a gift, the Trucker John gift membership. Thank you, Fancy. Yippee! Going out to Fancy for helping support the show by gifting a membership. I do appreciate you. And Falcor got that one. So, Falcor, I hope you enjoy the membership and you'll consider re-upping. Now, I've been I guess mistaken, or in error. I've been saying in error that the membership started at $1.99. I thought they started at $1.99, but then the other day I looked and it said $2.99. My bad. I thought it was $1.99. Maybe I need to go in and lower it or something, because I thought I had them at $1.99. They might be $2.99. In any case, $2.99 is pretty cheap, but I think I should go lower it to. I wanted it to be $1.99, but I looked at the other day. I thought I saw $2.99. I was like, wait a minute. I thought the lowest one was $1.99. You guys, let me know. Should I go, if it is $2.99? Should I go lower it to $1.99? Because that's what I thought it was, and that's what I've been telling everyone, that it was $1.99. Alton Gillespie says the next Dem president should open the White House ballroom as a homeless shelter. That's what I said too. Yeah. WW says no, farmers plan a couple of years in advance. Nobody imagined that Trump would tariff China so strongly. He had to bail them out in his first administration. He literally had to bail them out in the first administration. Did they not learn then, or did they just think, oh, he'll bail us out again? We're going to get some nice big bailout money. And that, if that's the case, then fuck them. They're getting what they deserve. Aaron West 10:01, so we're 21 minutes behind. I don't know where Nick Rich is, by the way. Speaking of timestamps. WW also, in addition to Brazil, Argentina started producing more beans. And yeah, didn't we just give them a $20 billion injection so that they can sell beans to China? These are just all stupid policies over and over and over again. Republicans do stupid shit. And if these farmers and these prominent Republican family members of yours haven't learned a lesson by now, then I guess they never will. Because we've been seeing the swings back and forth, and I talk about this all the time. When Republicans are in there, they crash the economies, they crash markets, they crash housing bubbles, they crash banking sector. And when Democrats get in there, they clean it all up and get things going the right direction. And then we get Republicans in there, and then the whole thing starts over again. If they can't see that, if they don't see that, then they either are stupid or they like it that way, because they know that when things crash and get shitty, if they've got cash, some of them, they can go in and they can buy things on the down when things are low. They can swoop in and buy shit up. And then they like when things start going back up again in prices and value, then they can sell on the high. And that's a great way to become very filthy rich. But it's not really a great way to run a country when you've got 340 million people to think about. It's not a very good way to run a country. It might be a good scam. It's a good way to make a fortune if you're fortunate enough to be able to do that, to buy on the low and sell on the high. I mean, that's always what you're supposed to do if you're talking about making money in your investments. But to manipulate the government that way, to manipulate the entire economy that way, just so a handful of billionaires could become trillionaires, that's no way to run a country, young man. Paul Burrow says you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. Wasn't that was that a Steely Dan album or something, or someone had an album like that? They put that on there. WW says, learn and watch and pray and don't hide when Jesus comes looking for you. Hey, if Jesus comes looking for me, I'll go up and shake his hand and give him like a bro hug, the bro hug. And say, hey man, good to see you. Francis says, I'm stocked up on tuna. I can use more spaghetti sauce. Just as long as you don't put the spaghetti sauce on the tuna, although that might work. That might work. Jennifer Bay says, Roxanne, no. JISF was not hanging in the Haight-Ashbury. I was only 4 months old in the summer of love. Oh, and more lie and deny is the Trump administration mantra. Their mantra. MJ Daniel says, didn't you know that becoming president means that DJT owns everything and everybody? No King's Day, October 18th, guys. No King's Day. We need to make that a huge, huge, huge thing. Let's all get out and peacefully march on that day. It gets hot in here. I need to turn the AC back on. Hey, Jim Adelberg's here. Hey, Jim, good to see you. Says it's only logical, Mr. Spock. Jim Adelberg, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Mods over there at the Tara Devlin show. Tara Devlin, a great show every Friday, usually. Trying to think of the East Coast time and the West Coast time. Usually, what, Jim? What time? Usually around 6 or 7 Pacific, I guess. I think Jim is the mod over there. WW says they may still lower the minimum rate, but only by another quarter. Might not have the employment stats, then they might take no action. That's a bit mid-thread. I'm mid-thread on that one. Jim at the base says, Trucker John, wow, Patriot Bills. Never in my wildest imagination would I picture myself rooting for the Patriots, yet I have been driven to the brink by a member of the Bills Mafia. My hands are tied. I'm surprised that the Patriots, who'd they beat up last week? They had a good game last week. Karen Ames says that Donald is running the White House like a mob boss that he learned from his daddy's mob connections. Donald Trump is a wannabe gangsta. He wants to be John Gotti, minus the dying in prison part. He wants to be Tony Soprano, minus the having to go and live in hiding, and every time a door opens and the bell rings, you're wondering if that's you're wondering if that's it, if that's the day that they found you. If anyone saw The Sopranos, you'll know what I'm talking about. Terry Taylor says, I love salmon too, TJ, and it's good for you. And it's good for you. As long as you can get some that are hopefully not full of radiation or whatever. That's one of the things, we like to eat seafood, and then we got to be careful that it's not contaminated. WW says, Johnny is always relaxed. He doesn't call names. Right. That's right, motherfucker. I'm chill. I'm so chill. And I never call names, you bat. See, it won't even come out of my mouth. Paul Burrows says, I sell smoked salmon, $100 per pound. Wow. It's a bit steep. That's a bit steep, but I like me some smoked salmon. Sounds delicious. WW says, I need a new knee and a rebuilt shoulder. I don't want to even start. We need to rebuild him, make him faster and stronger. Squirgle says, yes, I agree with you, Chugger John. What do you know? Someone finally agreeing with me. Squirrel Girl says, all the news is like a shit show, and I have to take breaks. It's taking a toll on me. I know it's getting to others too. It's so toxic. Yeah, go ahead, man. Take some breaks. Take some breaks every now and then. Just make sure you don't completely check out and don't ever come back. Because we need involvement. We do need people to be involved. We need to go to these rallies and these marches. No King's Day, October 18th. I'm going to put that up every day, every show. But yeah, man, if you need to take the weekend off or take whatever you need to do, just because we don't want to all just burn out, right? WW, is it roaches? They're not roaches. They're just there's a variety. There's actually a variety of little black bugs and these little, and the things they might be in the roach family. They're just weird. But they're not like your typical, cockroach. They're not like that. Like a cockroach is like that, right? These things are about this big. They kind of look like they have wings, but I don't think they don't fly. They're brown. They're gross. I hate them. Even though that's a strong word, I hate them. I hate them. Surrender monkey, I hate them. I hate those bugs. Victor Harshman says it's depressing to realize people I consider friends have become people I would not tell where Anne Frank is hiding. Oh yeah, somebody on Blue Sky posted. Oh, because that was a meme. Yeah, that's so appropriate, right? That is where we're at. We've got friends, supposed friends now that because they're on the wrong side of history. They definitely are on the wrong side of history. I'm just looking at TV because now I got Kyle Kalinske or whatever his name is on. Anyhow, Roxanne says 72. They took the staples out of both sides. Okay. Also, 72 is here. I don't know if I said hi to Stephanie. B2, thanks for being here. Walter Makarovich is here. Hey, Walter, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Walter says, morning, Trucker John. You know, the other day at that so-called military meeting, it seemed to me like Beetle Bailey and Gomer Pyle instructing the Dirty Dozen how to do it. Yeah, I know. And I kept thinking that too. Like the generals they were probably doing everything in their power not to be sitting there shaking their heads. I could just see a camera. You know, they had the shots of all the generals sitting there. You know, and when they had, I'll put that down for a minute. They had that there, and I was just thinking, I could just see them all going like this in unison. But they're good generals, they're professionals, and they just sat there very stoically. But yeah, I kept thinking they're just thinking like, who the fuck are these motherfuckers telling us to do anything when these guys are fucking dipshits, total dipshits. One guy is just a TV talk show host. Well, they're both TV talk show hosts basically. One's a game show host, and one's a talk show host that don't know anything. Keg Breath. Okay, I guess he was a reservist or a National Guard, and he, which is fine, and thank you for your service, but that does not qualify you to be the SecDef, and I don't think it qualifies you to be, basically dressing down this room full of fucking 4-star generals, and anything from 1 stars to 4 stars, and then Trump, of course, was a draft dodger, or got 5 deferments. Old Captain Commander in Chief Bone Spurs there. They had no business whatsoever. I don't care if his title is Commander in Chief and the other one's title is SecDef. They really had no business whatsoever telling these guys anything. Because if anything, if they had any type of I don't know if shame is the word, or maybe self-awareness. If they had any type of self-awareness, I'm talking about Trump and Hag Breath. They would just admit that, hey, they don't have the experience and the knowledge that you guys in that audience have. You guys right there, they should have that self-awareness. Hey, I don't have that knowledge, and so we're going to defer to you. That's what they should be saying. We're going to be taking your advice because you guys have combined hundreds and hundreds of years of experience. You guys have all the medals that you've earned. You guys have seen combat. You guys have done countless tours of duty. All you guys right there in that audience. So we're going to actually, confer with you and get your advice and counsel. That's what they should have been saying. But no. You have Hag Breath trying to tell them that they're fat and they need to do this and that. Well, fuck you, And then you had Trump that was just mumbling, just incoherent bullshit. It was just a shit show, and it was really it was unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. But this Trump administration, I guess, will never cease to amaze me in their shit that they do. Janet DeBase, Trucker John beat LA is the law in San Francisco. I'm not sure of the statute. It's been that way since 1958. Rosanna says, were the Los Angeles Rams called the St. Louis Rams? Yes, from about when did they move? 85. Before they were the St. Louis Rams, they were the Los Angeles Rams for about 40 years, and then previous to that, they were the Cleveland Rams, I believe. They moved from Cleveland in, I believe, around 1945. They moved from Cleveland to L.A., and then they were the Los Angeles Rams from about 1945, I believe, to I think it was around 85. They moved to St. Louis. And they were the St. Louis Rams for about 20 years or something. Some ungodly number. They should have never been allowed to move to St. Louis. Georgia Frontiera, she's dead and gone now, but I hate that bitch. I believe she had her husband, Carol Rosenblum, who was the owner of the Rams at the time. I truly believe she had him murdered so that she could inherit the team. And then she moved them to St. Louis for some ungodly fucking reason. They should have never been allowed to move to St. Louis. They should have been made to stay in L.A., in my opinion. Anyhow, they went to St. Louis for about 20 years, and then they came back to L.A. Actually, maybe longer than 20 years, because they've been in L.A. When did they move back? Like 5 years ago? Or something? I don't know. Time goes fast. But just so you know, they were not the St. Louis Rams forever, or before that they were the LA Rams. They were Cleveland, LA, St. Louis, and then back to LA. And as far as I'm concerned, they are and always will be the LA Rams. And Georgia Frontiera, may you burn in hell. There, I said it. Not taking it back. Not taking it back. No matter what. Karen Ames says, "Hey, I have no idea who any of the quarterbacks are anymore. I'm more of a baseball fan. Hard to watch any since I don't have cable." Well, tonight, the Rams quarterback is Matthew Stafford. He came over from the Detroit Lions a few years ago. The Rams got him from the Lions, and basically all he's done is he's led the Rams to a Super Bowl championship. And we're hoping he can lead us to another one before he retires, because he's getting a little up there in age, and he's got back issues, and he's always just one good hit away from being, knocked out. So for some period of time, but he's been playing really well, pretty well, and as long as we can keep him healthy, I think we've got a good shot at a Super Bowl. For San Francisco, they have a quarterback named Brock Purdy. Ain't he purdy? And he's a good kid, and he's a good quarterback. I'll give him that. I think he's a good quarterback, pretty good quarterback. But he's having some health issues right now, and he's a much younger man. He's not as old as Matthew Stafford. But I believe he's got some injury problems going on, and so whether or not he's going to play tonight, I haven't heard the latest of whether I think he's questioned. I think it's what's known as being questionable as to whether or not he'll be playing tonight. I haven't heard the latest. So their starter might not be playing tonight for San Francisco. So that's a little bit of some quarterback talk for Karen. Yeah, Jolie says, do it now, WW. My mom's biggest regret was she didn't do things she needed to get done. A knee replacement and a hip replacement. She could barely move the last year of her life. So get her done, W. Get her done. Come on, you've still got another 20 good years in you. I'm thinking. So just think, would you rather spend those next 20 years with a bum knee and whatever else you got there? or if you can get it fixed now, you can still increase your quality of life there. I think there might be some buffering going on. Looks like there's some buffering going on, guys. So I apologize, even though I have nothing to do with it. I don't know why I'm apologizing for something that I have nothing to do with. But just to let you know, I did see, at least on my iPad, it looked like it was sort of getting kind of sketchy. Kind of sketchy. Jen at the base says, Rosanna, yep, don't get TJ started on Georgia Frontiere, who killed her husband, allegedly, Carol Rosenblum, and then took the Rams to St. Louis. The Rams bolted out of L.A. Oh, yes. Boy, you pegged me there, didn't you, Jen at the base? Because I know that tweet was probably 20 minutes ago, and I basically just said the same exact thing. But the only reason they bolted is because Georgia Frontiere is a cunt. Okay, there was absolutely no reason for them to leave. They still had they had plenty high attendance. Their attendance was fine and dandy. I went to a few games. It was always packed house. So she was trying to say that the attendance was low, but that was bullshit. Karen Ames says, I take my breaks going to the park with my hubby and daughter, and we play Pokemon Go with our huge group of friends at Hesperia Civic Center. I also color, and we listen to audiobooks as we play. See? That's a great thing. That's a great way to, just kind of get out of this, all this it can be very, I don't want to say negative, but all this political talk, it can wear on you. So that's a good way to do that, Karen. I think you're doing the right thing there by taking those things, taking those little breaks. Nola Carr says, "No bugs, please. Set the bombs off." Ooh, yeah, maybe I should just get one of those and a bug bomb thing. I'm not sure if they let you do that in apartments though. I'll have to ask the office. I'll just go. Hey, can I get one of those bug bomb things? Because it's fucking gross in here. They'll probably send the exterminator guy out like ASAP if I said that. So, Mr. Spock says, Steve Irwin voice, crikey. Look a swee? I can't do the thing. Go after that wild boar, get it swee. Who's swee? I think Swee got the best of that wild boar. Now let's get a Foster's Swee. Is that what he used to say, Swee? Swee all the time? I don't remember that. It's Australian for beer. David Dog says, is it wrong I use my hardback copy of the Constitution for a coffee coaster? I don't think it's anything wrong with that. Nah. I think the Constitution would like to be sort of a, multi-use thing. It probably feels, like it's doing something. Jim Adelberg says, are we so divided that protests do nothing? We need more and more turnout. We need more and more people. That's why the Trucker John Great General Strike shutdown scheduled for January 1st might get moved up. We might move it up. We might have to move it up. Oh, Kiki Streets is here. I was skipping down it, and there's Kiki Streets. Kiki Street says, I like solid white tuna and oil bumblebee. I think someone was saying there was a recall on the bumblebee. So be careful with the bumblebee, Kiki Streets. I heard there's a recall on that. Kiki Street says, still paying 99 cents a can for bumblebee, chicken of the sea, solid white, and oil. So yeah, be careful. Doug G's here. Hey, Doug. Doug says, get some raid ant and roach. So let's see, what is this? This is Raid Max perimeter protection. This says it keeps killing up to 18 months. It says defend your home from pests. Indoor, outdoor. So this is indoor, outdoor. Raid Max keeps killing up to 18 months. I just sprayed the bottom crack of the door just for good measure. Just for good measure. Surrender Monkey says, in the UK, the conservatives like me are more liberal than you Democrats in the States. Obviously, we have asshole fuckers that are Russian paid Nazis like Farage, but fuck that clown. Thank you, Surrender Monkey. Thanks for your input. I do appreciate you. Victor Harshman says, Jane Goodall quote. Oh, okay. Appropriate, since Jane Goodall just passed yesterday at the ripe old age of 91. Rest in peace, Jane Goodall. Victor Harshman says, Jane Goodall quote, in many ways, the performances of Donald Trump remind me of the male chimpanzees and their dominance rituals. Very interesting. Very interesting. But not stupid. But not stupid. Did you guys ever watch Laugh In? Karen Ames, do you think they will bail out the farmers this time? Well, by they, Donald Trump. Well, but yeah, I know it's Congress. I don't know, Karen. He might, but it might be too late. I don't know. I know the farmers are hoping for it. They're just hoping for a big bailout. I don't know. That's a good question. Hey, WW, the $2.22 super chat. Yippee to old WW. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. I'll give you a thumbs up on there, and I'll give that heart. WW says, double angels to get things started. Thank you, WW. Is that what 222 means? Double angels? Have you seen the trailers or the commercial thingies for the new Keanu Reeves movie? And he's playing an angel. Is it Michael or whatever? Which angel is he playing? He's playing an angel, one of the famous ones. And it looks funny, because it's a funny thing. I think we've kind of seen that in movies before, where it's like the angel, and then he has to be immortal, not immortal, but immortal because he fucked up or something. And it looks kind of funny. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I thought it looked kind of funny. WW says the value of their land, and we're talking about farmers, I think. WW says the value of their land is higher than ever. They don't make money off the crops anymore. Well, so if the value of their land is high, are they just getting loans on the land? Like, what do you call it? What's the kind of loan where you can just take money out of it as you need it? What do they call that? I should know it, but I think I've got early onset Alzheimer's or something going on because I'm forgetting shit. I know what it's called, You guys know, and you guys know what it's called. Jim Adelberg says, "Yep, John. In capitalism, the people with the capital always win." And I just want to be clear: I'm not anti-capitalist, but I am pro-regulation when it comes to capitalism. I don't believe in unbridled capitalism. Just to be clear. Karen Ames says, did you see that Bassett got caught about the Argentina buyout by a reporter that took a pic of his text. He got screwed by bailing out Argentina. You know, I did see a little something on that, where they it was like an over the shoulder shot of his phone or something. WW, it's not that big a deal to be a millionaire anymore. Well, I tell you what, I would sure fucking love to be it. I'd rather be a millionaire than what I am right now, which is like a 100-aire. Any fucking day of the year, I would take being a fucking millionaire, and I would be financially. I mean, you know, I know people say money doesn't make you happy, and I'm not trying to say that it would make me happy necessarily. I'm pretty sure it would, though. But if I was a millionaire, I would be so much free of stress, financial stress, and always worrying, constantly worrying, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to pay for that? What if something happens? I'm not going to be able to pay for it. If I was a millionaire, I would have none of that. Unless I was just a total dipshit, and which I am kind of, but I can't stand these people who try to make out like millionaires are being a millionaire is like you're poor or something. Okay, look, I'm poor. A lot of you people in the chat are poor. We're barely making it. We're living at poverty wages. If that, poverty level wages. If you're living on 15,000 or 20,000 or 25,000 a year, or even 30 or 40,000 a year, you're just barely making it. So don't come at me with this millionaires aren't a big deal anymore. If you were a millionaire, and by millionaire that means it's more than one, and your life would be immeasurably different. Unless you were just a total dipshit and you just maxed everything out and leveraged everything so badly that, but then then that's on you. But I would much rather be a millionaire than what I am right now, which is a nothing-aire. So, yeah, being a millionaire isn't the same as it was in the '60s. During, like, if you ever watched Mad Men, and these guys were Wall Street, or what they were, Madison Avenue advertisers in New York City in the '60s. Mad Men, right? I'm talking about Mad Men, the show Mad Men, and they would show stuff like, they went to dinner, like a big fancy place, and the steak was like $3, or the guy went and bought a brand new Cadillac, and it was like $3,000, and they're like, man, that's a lot of money for that car. Can you, and all that kind of shit. So yeah, a millionaire back then was a lot different than now. Okay, that's what's called inflation. But I was still being a millionaire. If you're a millionaire today, you would be doing, you would be doing way better than about probably 90% of the rest of the population. You're probably in the top 10% if you're a millionaire. Maybe even a smaller percentage than that, probably. So don't come at me with this bullshit of trying to make it like millionaires aren't that big of a deal. Everyone in this chat would love to be a millionaire right now. Every single one of us would. I bet you every single one of us in this chat right now, we would love being a millionaire over what we are right now. Unless there's a billionaire in there in our chat, which I don't think there is. If you're a billionaire, then you wouldn't want to just be a millionaire. But I bet you most of us are barely making it. And those of us that are doing okay, we're just doing okay. And you would rather, and being a millionaire would be better than what you are financially. And not what you are as a person, what you are financially. And you shouldn't, unless you're living really stupidly, you shouldn't have a worry about paying your mortgage and paying your electric bill and your utilities and paying for an emergency. You shouldn't have those worries. And if you do, then you're an idiot because you don't know how to handle your money. Jim Adelbrook says, I'm hoarding 15 to 20 of Italian sun-dried tomatoes. Damon Dog, I binge watch Wayward on Netflix. I haven't watched that. I did see, I think a little thing popped up saying that here's a show we think you might like or something like that. David Dog says, wait till you meet palmetto bugs. They're a giant. I've seen palmetto bugs. I don't think they really have them here. I've seen those down south mainly. Kinky Street says, my knee surgeon says I have an insane level of pain tolerance since I only took 18 oxycodone pills in 9 days since surgery. Most others take 50 to 100% more. Laughing out loud. Well, good on you. I mean, if you can get through it without having to take so much of that, that's good on you. Jim Edelberg says we have tarantulas and scorpions. Well, do you have them in your house? I'm sure we have tarantulas and scorpions out here in the desert, but I've never seen one in my house or in my apartment. I'm kind of skipping down in the chat because I know I'm really far behind. Thanks, guys, for hitting that thumbs up. We're operating in a really good surplus, like good Democrats. But if you haven't hit the thumbs up, make sure you do that for me. That would be great if you could do that. Again, guys, I don't think we're going to make my goal. My goal was to get to 4,200 subs by tomorrow into business day because tomorrow's my birthday. And I thought that would be my birthday present, but I don't know. We might not make it. Jolie says, Combat Max Roach Bait works great. Trucker John, we live in the woods and get all sorts of critters. It kills the entire nest. I put them out twice a year and never have a problem with them anymore. Do you put them can you put them inside and outside? I wonder if I could just put them outside too. I'll have to look at that next time I'm shopping. Combat Max Roach Bait. Yeah, I gotta do something. Pure Name says we have lizards here too. We have lizards too. I was walking down the the outside walkway here, and I saw a little lizard right on my side of the wall. Just a little guy, a little skinny little lizard. I said hello. I said hello there, lizard. And he said, "Who are you calling lizard?" I said, "I'm calling you a lizard." And he's like, "I'm a lizard?" And I go, "Yeah, you're a lizard." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know, because I don't have a mirror. Thanks for telling me." And then we laughed. All right, I'm skipping down in the chat, guys. I'm skipping on down, and I'm sort of needle dropping. This is the portion of the show where I skip down and needle drop in the chat, since we are almost at the 2-hour mark, and I'm probably really far behind. WW says, "Don't murder me, bro." WW, you crack me up sometimes. You crack me up. John from Las Vegas is here. Hey, John, good to see you. John from, it was mid-90s. Was it 95? I think it was 95. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, John. I think it was 95 to when did they come back? 2015 or something? Has it been 10 years? But thank you, John from Las Vegas. Yeah, I think it was 95 when they moved. Or something like that, yeah. Good to see John from Las Vegas. Always good to see John. Reno's here. Yeah, I know they won the Super Bowl in St. Louis. I'm a fucking Rams fan. Of course I know that. Reno. And I was happy and I rooted for the Rams, but still was not happy that they moved to St. Louis. They should never have been allowed to go to St. Louis. None of that, I mean, hardly anyone, no one thinks of the Cleveland Rams, okay? But the Los Angeles Rams had become one of the premier franchises in the NFL. I mean, they were up there with the Cowboys and the Giants and the Bears and the Packers, and the Redskins and the Rams. They were right up there with this. I think it's in terms of being sort of iconic, an iconic franchise. They were up there. It wasn't like no one gives a fuck about the Cleveland Rams, because I remember prior to them leaving, it must have been in the 90s, because that's when I was in the post office, and I remember this other dude, and he was an older dude, and he was like, and he was telling me this shit, because I was telling him how this is bullshit. They shouldn't be allowed to move, and he's going, well, they moved here from Cleveland, and I go, yeah, that was in 1945 when fucking college football was more popular than the NFL. No one gave a fuck about the NFL in 1945 like they do now. In the 90s, the NFL was already a multi-billion-dollar a year organization in the 90s. Okay, but in the 40s, they were nothing. They were basically nothing. College football was way, 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 way more popular than the NFL. The college football was getting, millions of fans watching the games all over the country, and the NFL could barely, fill a stadium in the 40s. So it's not the same thing. Then the Rams came to LA, and they became, like I said, this iconic franchise of the NFL. So it was a whole different ball game, whole different thing. So they should, in my opinion, should have never been allowed to move to St. Louis, to fucking St. Louis, for God's sakes. And I'm gonna stick with that till the day I die. But I stayed a Rams fan. I tried to like some other teams, but I just couldn't do it. I could never. I tried to be a Chargers fan. I tried to be a Cardinals fan from Arizona, because they were in Arizona. I could never be a Raiders fan. I could never be a Niners fan. I always liked the Dolphins, but I could never make them my number one team, And I just kept finding that even when they were shitty, because before they won that Super Bowl, they went through 6 or 7 years where they were like the doormats in the league. They were horrible. But I still kept finding that I would, either on Sports Center, or back then I used to read newspapers, and my eyeballs would go to finding what did the Rams do, how'd they do. So I just, after a couple of years after they moved, I was just like, I'm not going to be I'm just going to be a Rams fan. I'm just stuck with the Rams, because I wanted to disown them, but I couldn't, because it's just, at that point, they were just like in my blood, the Rams, And so I'm like, I guess I'm just stuck with it, even if you're in St. Louis. Fucking St. Louis. I guess I'm sticking with you. And then they came back, and thank God. Thank God for Stan Kroenke, who's married to a Walmart heir. Thank God for the Walmart money. Kroenke was able to get him back to their rightful place. Stinkers here says California is ridiculous, losing 3 professional teams. I don't really give a fuck about that. Marcia, member for 4 months. Thank you, Marcia. Yippee to Marcia. Happy Truckerversary. Marcia says, love you, Trucker. John, greetings in chat. Well, thank you, Marcia. And we love you too. We all love you, and we're glad to see you. And thank you for being a member. It does help the show. It does help us to keep going. Anna Moore says, TJ, last year we had mulch added and noticed these cockroach-looking bugs. I used peppermint oil and water and sprayed outside my door and surrounding areas. Check the mulch. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Uh, skip it down, and I'm needle dropping. I'm trying to get something that isn't so mid-thread. Mad Mac is here, Slava Ukrainian. I saw Mad Mac in there. David Weiss, I believe. Is David Weiss from Denver, right? David Weiss from Denver, I believe. Hello, David Weiss. We got croc blocks. The spiders keep the roaches away. The spiders keep the roaches away. The roaches away. The roaches away. Yeah, maybe I should get some spiders in here. I don't like spiders though either. Inside, I don't like anything creepy crawly inside my apartment. Skip it down and needle dropping. Stephanie Badu says, I loved Laughing, but when we were at my grandparents', we could only watch Hee Haw. Well, I remember we watched both. I remember watching both, Hee Haw and Laughing. That's the kind of family I grew up in. That's why I told you I don't even know what party my parents were registered with. They seemed to be sort of apolitical, although they voted. I know they would vote, but they really didn't talk about who they voted for. And so that's the type of family we would watch both Laughing and Hee Haw. We're a Laughing and Hee Haw family. Kiki Street says there is no recall on Bumblebee tuna at all right now. Okay, well, we had earlier reports that there were, so maybe that was a mistake or something, that someone was in error of that. Roxanne79 says, I called this huge spider Red. He set up shop outside my bay window. I left him alone. I kind of get those agreements too with some of these things. I'm like, okay, if you stay over there, I'm talking about a spider, because bugs are just weird. They're just all over the place. But spiders, they have that thing where they're lying in wait, right? They make their webs, and then they just wait for something to get snarled in their web, and then they pounce on it. So so I've had agreements like that where I'm like, okay, you stay there, you don't bug me, I won't bug you, and you do your thing, I'll do my thing, and we'll just get along just fine. I've had that kind of agreement before. Jolie reminding everyone that Trucker John has channel memberships, which I thought were $1.99, but maybe they're $2.99. And super chats. You can also support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. So please do that. Or you can buy me a coffee at that Buy Me a Coffee link. And then down further, we have a PayPal link. And you can help support the show that way. And all ways are very appreciated. All ways of support. Even this line of credit. There you go, Croc Locks. That's what I think I was trying to say. They can, because I guess it was WW was talking about the farmers and how their land is just high valued, and so they probably get line of credit and live off of that, or if they're not selling the land, then having a high value helps if you're getting loans and stuff, or a line of credit, I guess. Or W says they rent it out. Okay, you can rent it out. But then if those people who are renting the land, if they're renting it to farm on, and then they're in the same situation, if they're not able to make any money from their farming, then no one's going to be renting. Russell S. home equity loan. Well, kind of, but I think I was thinking more of the line of credit. Is what I was thinking of. WW, they make money when they sell their land. I know they would make money when they sell their land, but then they don't have the land anymore. Then they're not farmers anymore. Mr. Spock says the Kevin Hart joke: when two silverback gorillas fight, the loser loses his wife and kids and is banished. Now, this is a bad thing. I might be mid-thread. I don't know where that joke came from. I don't know the appropriateness of that joke. Skipping down and needle dropping. Trying to find something that's not too mid-thread. Josh says, isn't the average net worth of an American citizen over $1 million? I don't know. It's certainly, I'm not, then I must be below average. I'm well below average, if that's the case. Mr. Spock, money corrupts, TJ. No, it doesn't. I believe that you got to put the onus on the person, not the money. Marsha with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Marsha. Yippee to you. Thank you so much. With a happy birthday. Thank you for that, Marsha. Happy early birthday, I guess. Thank you so much for that. That helps us go, keep the show going. I do appreciate you. Josh says average is 1.06 million. Median is 192,700. Well, then I wish I was at least average because I'm well below average. Karen Ames says happy birthday, early TJ. And it's one thing to be, I'm talking about liquid. I'm not talking about on paper. Because there's been times in my life where on paper I was probably worth at least many hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it really didn't mean much. Nola Carnes with a $5 super sticker. Thank you, Nola Carnes. Yippee to Nola Carnes with a $5 and happy birthday. Thank you, Nola. I appreciate you so much for that. Petrazi, John's a Libra. That's cool. So am I. Yeah, I'm a Libra. Karen Ames says, I doubt we can ever afford to buy a home again unless the housing market crashes big time, but then the investors will buy everything like they did before. Yeah, they just swoop in and buy everything up. Damon Dog says, oh, I'm not going to read that. I don't really give a fuck if someone else goes live right now. David Dog says, Christina and Son Go Squad. Nordis gifted me membership yesterday. When are you on next? I need to write down your schedule. I love your show. And Christina says, thank you. If you come back next week, you want a reading, let me know. I think Christina comes on Thursdays, right, Christina? Do you only do one day a week? I believe Christina comes on every Thursday. Oh, no. That was last night. Last night was Wednesday. So is it Wednesday? Well, maybe you do different shows. Maybe you do more than one. I should shut my mouth. I'm putting out false information. And Christina says, and Sungo says, I will be on tonight interviewing Moms Russo. You need to tell us the times too, Christina. Put the time in there. I believe it's like 7 p.m. Eastern, I think. But see, I don't want to put out false information. Stephen Sayers says, I didn't know my mother was a conservative until years later after I married. Christina and Sun Ghost Squad says, I have the ant parade march across the stove over the sink. It's like they own the place. It drives me nuts. Yeah, I don't have that here, but I've had that before, and I hate that too. Notorious GRG with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Notorious GRG. Yippee! Here comes the leaf blower. In case I miss your birthday tomorrow, happy birthday! Thank you, Notorious. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you a thumbs up and a heart for that. Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you. Paul Burrows is out. Peace out, Paul. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you coming by and spending some time with us. Damon Dog says, by the way, the Saudis now own EA Sports. There goes video games. I can't stand the Saudis. I really can't. Marcia says, Trucker John, thank you and have a happy birthday. Tomorrow I may not be able to be here, but we'll leave a like. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for your support of the show and for being here all the time and all the times you've been here. I do appreciate you for coming on in and hanging out with us. So Jolie says, Trucker John, memberships, driver $1.99 a month, good buddy $5.99 a month, and owner $19.99 a month. I thought it was $1.99, but I was on one of my other accounts because I have Feet on the Dashboard and Fowler's Wrath. Those are my two other YouTube channels, and I was watching this show through one of those accounts, and I pushed the thing where it says join, and you could to join the membership, and on there it said $2.99. So I don't know why it said $2.99. I'm pretty sure it said $2.99. And I was wondering. Then I was thinking. I wonder, does YouTube get an extra dollar or something? I don't know. I really don't know. But I thought it was $1. I thought it was $1.99. But then I saw $2.99. It was weird. It was really weird. Jolie with a $5. Thank you, Jolie. Thank you. You do so much, Jolie, and I appreciate that. On top of that, I mean, thank you so much. Big yippies going out to Jolie. $5 super chat, and we achieved the goal. There we go. We achieved the goal. Thank you, guys. We hit the goal. 5 for 5. 5 for 5. I appreciate you, all y'alls. So Christina and Sun Goes Sun says Wednesday is card readings, and then Thursdays are either interviews or games. So I guess you're on 2 nights a week, Wednesdays and Thursdays. I don't want to say the time because it might be the wrong time. So we need to. Oh, there it is. Christina says 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we go after 21st Century Suffragettes, and I don't know if they go a little late. I don't want to go over them. That's kind of what I do with Hal. If Hal's going late, I kind of wait until Hal's over with. But yeah, you can say 7. You can say 7 p.m. And then if you go a little late, you go a little late. You know, I mean, you can have your thing up there and just say 7 p.m. and then Easter time, and then if you're a little late, you're a little late. That's how I operate. Much to the chagrin of many of the people in here, they're like, "Why is he taking so long?" All right, guys, I think I've reached pretty much the end of the chat. Christina says it says $1.99. If you click join, they're trying to gyp you on your own membership. I'm almost positive that when I was in my other account, it said $2.99, and I was like, I don't remember it being $2.99. I'm pretty sure it was $1.99. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe I should go back. Maybe I should switch over. Okay, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to go over to my. I'm going to go to my Feet on the Dashboard channel, which has 245 subscribers, and it has a movie I made in 2012, a short movie that I made. I wrote and directed and produced, and it has, I think, about 70,000 views on that bad boy. And let's see here. Anyhow, so I'm on Feet on the Dashboard, I'm looking at my live stream right now. And okay, I'm going to push the join button. See? When I go on there, it says driver $2.99 a month. I swear to God, it says $2.99 a month. It says join this channel to access membership perks. Driver $2.99 per month. But you guys are saying that it says $1.99. Why does it say $2.99? That is so weird. That is so weird. I don't get it. See there, if you see feet on the dashboard showing up at somewhere, that's me. Just so you know, that's me. Michael McAndrews says, "Hey, Michael, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in." Michael says, "I had to go to the store. At least I caught part of this." Josh says it's a pretty good short film. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. Boy, can you guys hear that? It's getting really, really, really loud. It's really, 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 really loud. I don't know what 2,990,000 a month means. Did I miss something? Michael? McAndrews? Michael McAndrews? Did I miss something else that you said? I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. Christina and Son says, I wonder, I do have Prime. Does that make a difference what the membership price is? I didn't think it did. Michael says, I hear something. Yeah, I think that's the leaf blower. Michael McAndrews, I heard you say $2.99. So, okay. All right. So there's a mystery here. There's where it says $2.99 a month. And it says Good Buddy is $7.99 a month, and owner operator it has it $24.99 a month. That should be $19.99 a month. So they're jacking it up. I'm not doing that, folks. They have it listed at $24.99 a month. I have it listed as $19.99 a month, I believe, for an owner operator, and the Good Buddy level, they have it at $7.99. And it was what, $4.99 or $5.99? And then for driver, why are they doing this? They can't do that. This is weird. Let me go to my other account. I have another one. It's called Fowler's Wrath. That only has 21 subscribers. And that's basically as a thing I did because it's for a game that I play, this little car racing game. And I made it for that, and no one ever goes on it. But okay, so for this one, if I push join, it says same thing: $2.99 a month for driver, $7.99 for Good Buddy, and $24.99 for owner operator. That's not right. That's not. I'm going to have to figure out a way to contact. I'm going to have to find out a way to contact them. Because That is not what I put in there. I'll have to do that. I'll have to do that on some other time. I'm going to have to troubleshoot or get a hold of customer service or something, because that's not right, man. There's my other one. If you ever see Fowler's Wrath, that's me. Okay. That is so weird, because I did not put those prices up like that. I did not do that. DPD 5844 is here. DPD says someone making $65,000 a year will go from paying $307 to $964. I hope that people can survive. Pay what for health? Is that for health insurance or health premiums? Is that what that was about? Okay, so DPD goes on to explain these numbers are what people will be paying for medical coverage since the ACA tax credit has lapsed. And that's a pretty big deal. It's almost like, under that example, that's over 3 times the amount. Yeah, Christina says they're trying to kill us. Nobody can afford these prices, especially if they're taking away Medicaid or Medicare. Jolie says, Trucker John, maybe you need to update your YouTube on your iPad. I think you had the prices at that when you first started, when you changed them. Really? I think it's all updated. Guess I could try again. DPD says maybe someone hacked your account. I guess that's possible. It's always possible. Jolie says, I just checked the prices on all my other YouTube accounts. They all say the same, $199. Wow, that's weird. Stephen Sayers says not to change the subject, but how many of these brilliant generals will go ahead and retire now that hacks have this laid down the wall? I was wondering that too. I was wondering that too. Like, after this meeting, how many of them said, "Well, I'm gonna turn in my retirement papers. I don't need this bullshit." Christina and Sun Ghost says it's funny how it's just for you though, and everybody sees the regular prices. But like I said, do I pay the no commercials through YouTube? So I don't know if it makes a difference. Oh, like if you have a premium account, yeah, I don't. I'm totally confused about this. Luck Dragon's here. Hey, Luck Dragon. Luck Dragon says there's lots of polls that say social media will drive you mad. Drive you mad? Watch more cat videos. There's nothing wrong with being socially engaged. If you need mental health and you own a gun, please dial 711. That took a turn. Yeah, but yeah, if you need to take a break, take a break. Michael McAndrew says, if I were a general, I would tell Hegseth where to go. Jolie says, when I click on membership gifting, it's $1.99. So, yeah, I don't know why it's saying it on my stuff differently. So anyhow, I guess the main thing is I don't feel bad now because I thought I was giving out misinformation, because I've been telling everybody it's that the memberships start as low as $1.99 a month. So at least I think, based on what you're telling me, Jolie, I think I was truthful when I said that. Marcia says they look near retirement age. Well, yeah, these guys are all probably, most of them, a lot of them look like they're like my age, you know, but probably a lot of them in their 50s and 60s, you know, mid 50s to mid 60s, maybe pushing 70, some of them. Luck Dragon says, every time I look at that picture, I just point out the two black men in the camera and I just feel so bad for them. They worked extremely hard at their jobs. I don't know. You tell me. Steven Singer says 50 to 60-year-old is not past prime as far as strategic thinking. Oh, no. Yeah, that's for being a general or being in that. Yeah, your 50s and 60s, that's like your prime. You're in your prime. You kind of want that. You want the years of experience, you know. You don't want a Pete Hegseth as a general, for God's sakes. But yeah, they're in their prime in terms of being in that position. Marsha Jones says, no, it's not, but don't get many 60-year-olds still in the middle. Well, if you're a general, you do. Okay, there aren't any 50 or 60-year-old privates, and even, you know, lieutenants and captains and stuff like that. I mean, if you're going to get to that level, it takes a while. It takes a lot of years of training and learning and going up to rising up through the ranks to get to the level of these guys. These guys are the top of the top. This is the cream of the crop right here in this room. I'll put my hand up. This is the cream of the crop. These are all the 1 through 4-star generals. Okay, and it takes a lot of time to get to that level. So you're not going to do it as a 30-year-old, you know, or a 40-year-old. So it's completely logical that these guys are all in their 50s and 60s, and maybe even pushing 70. These aren't, you know, these are the generals. These are the brains of the operation. Josh says institutional knowledge and experience. DPD 5844 says Stephen Nazi Miller was the one who gives the green light to murder the Venezuelan fisherman. How in the fuck does a senior advisor have that much authority? What the fuck? It's because Trump allows it. He gave it to him. He gave him that authority. But I'm not saying it's right. And I'm not really saying that Trump has the authority in the first place to extrajudicially murder people. I don't believe he has the right to do that. But that's where we're at. You know, that's where we're at. It's kind of like what Jolie was talking about earlier about, you know, I thought it was illegal to do this. And yeah, it is. There's a lot of illegal shit that the Trump administration is getting away with, you know, right now. Unfortunately, but I'm hopeful and hoping that it will all catch up to him at some point. All this illegality of the Trump administration, I'm hopeful that it will catch up to them. But you know, I've been saying this for years and years now. I thought Trump would be. I really thought Trump would be in prison by now. You know, somewhere between his first term and this second time around, I really thought he would end up in prison. And boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. All right, guys. All right, don't forget. Don't forget this. It's time for the 25th Amendment, I believe. I do believe that, but let's also don't forget this. We got the protests coming up on October 18th. No kings. We don't have kings here in America. None of that's king bullshit. And also release the Epstein files. I don't know if that dude ever released Mike Johnson's Grinder information, Grinder profile or not. I haven't heard anything about that. And I haven't heard if they've sworn in Representative Grijalva yet. I don't know anything about that. But we need those Epstein files released. And, and so much of this shit is such distraction. Donald Trump is doing everything in his power to not get those files released, which is all the more reason why we need to get those files released. All right, guys. But anyhow, guys. Today's Thursday already. Man, the weeks fly by. So tomorrow's Friday. I'll be coming on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right after the House Sparks show. So for all you sparklers, come on over right after Hal and hang out some more. And if you're not a sparkler, then shame on you. But I'll come on in at 11. I'll be on at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So adjust accordingly. Because I don't know where y'all live. Just find out what 11 a.m. Pacific time means to you. We have a guy who watches from Australia. It's like 4 in the morning for him, and he comes in. If he can come in at 4 in the morning, you guys can come in at whatever time you guys are watching this. All right, guys. I guess that is. Josh says TJ needs some beers for his birthday show. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I mean, I'll do it if you guys will get me to 4,200 subscribers. If that gets me to 4,200 subscribers, I'll get blackout blotto drunk on the show if you want me to. But Christina Sun Go Squad says, I'm watching from New York, and I never remember what time. I just check YouTube often. Well, 11 a.m. is 2 p.m. your time, Christina. So for you, I'll see you at 2. 2 in the afternoon for you, right after lunch. Or whatever. I don't know. All right, guys. I guess that's it for today. Thank you so much. The only thing left to do is the words of wisdom. I guess, right? Words of wisdom. Things like that. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats and the support. Let me go ahead and read that. Because they do have a thing where I can just read it. I can go down my little list here. We got Fancy. Started things off with a gift membership. Thank you, Fancy. Yippee to Fancy. WW with a 222 super chat. Thank you. Yippee out to WW. Marsha with a truckiversary, 4 months at the driver level. Yippee to Marsha. Thank you so much, Marsha. And then Marsha came in with a $2 super chat. Yippee to Marsha. She said, happy birthday. Nola Carnes with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Nola Carnes. Yippee. And Nola wished me a happy birthday. Thank you very much. Notorious GRG with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Notorious GRG. Yippee, going out to you with another happy birthday thing. And then Jolie with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Jolie. Yippee. Thank you guys all so much for the support. I do appreciate you. And everything you do, you guys, liking, subscribing, and sharing, that all helps the show and helps keep us on the air. So I do appreciate you for that. And again, thank you guys so much. I'm just waiting. There it goes. Thank you so much. And make sure you subscribe. Tell everyone you know to subscribe. All right. Yeah, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Don't make me have to go out, and do the tough cookie thing. Don't make me. I can be pretty tough, but I have to be. That's why they call me Tough Cookie. All right? You know what I'm talking about. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hey, look, Trucker John says he wants 4,200. He wants to get to 4,200 by tomorrow. Then we're going to get there. You got it? 4,200. That's only like 80 something. 89. I don't know. You guys like I have a LA cap on too. See, when I put my head down. I am also a Rams fan. I don't know. Can't see it now. I've got a cough going too. All right, hey, simmer down, tough cookie. Simmer down. All right. Geez, like threatening physical harm or something. I don't know. But yeah, it would be really nice if you guys could get those. Tell everyone in the neighborhood or something. Just tell them, hey, go over there and sub to Trucker John channel. It's his birthday and he wants to get up to 4,200 or something like that. Words to that effect. I don't know. It'd be nice to get to 4,200 by end of business day tomorrow. I think we can do it. I've seen him. I've seen it happen. I've seen Trucker John get 90 in a day, 100 in a day. It's really amazing. And you guys are amazing. It couldn't happen without you guys. So anyhow, thank you so much. Thanks for all the liking and the subscribing. I do appreciate it. And in the meantime, are you guys ready for some football? I know someone said this looks like a Giants helmet. It does look very much like a New York Giants. What's on the side? Because whenever I turn my head, I can't really see. Let me see if I can see on the screen here. Oh, it's a number. Okay, number 85. I'm wide receiver today, apparently. I'm a wide receiver. Or I could be a linebacker. I think, wasn't Jack Youngblood number 85? Or yeah, I think so. All right, let's get ready for some football. Go Rams. Go Rams. Here we are. Go Rams. Beat those Niners. All right, guys, that's it for today. Let's get your pen and pad out. Get ready for these words of wisdom. All right. Words of wisdom. Are you guys ready for the words of wisdom? All right, so here we go. So for today's words of wisdom, let's just starting with this one.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. We'll have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kill. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid, but doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. Don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shrugs, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows, so go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.
Show's over. I'm out of here, folks. Bye.